Melinda will be joining in the.
Very nice. So, what's your name, Vijay?
No, no, my name is Dr. Prasad.
Oh, Dr. Prasad. Okay.
I think I'll be taking the Paris time zone, and Melinda will be joining in the
Okay. Okay. Okay.
EST time
Okay.
zone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Sandeep Amar Gupta. Um, I'll be briefing about his potentiality, um, and for the talk we are awaiting for him. Mr. Sandeep Amar Gupta is a human potential strategist, global speaker, and creator of the SHE framework with over 40 years of experience guiding leaders and organizations. He is known for integrating spirituality, human potential, and economic strategy to
Mhm.
help leaders build purposeful, profitable futures. So, this is the first time, Mr. Amar, I'm seeing spirituality and then economic strategy. I never heard this type of strategies. Looking forward. His work has been featured on global platforms including Oxford University, the Science of Consciousness Conference. Sandeep simplifies complex ideas into inspiring, practical, human centered action. Wow. His contributions have earned him recognition. India Achievers Award 2023 and the PSAI President Award 2024, New Delhi. He continues his mission to help individuals and business thrive with clarity and purpose. So
Mhm.
that's Mr. Sandeep Amar Gupta, and the stage is all yours. We would like to know the complexity uh, of the problems and how you can simplify with your inspiration thoughts. Thank you so much, Mr. Sandeep, for being with us.
Well, thank you, Dr. Prasad. Thank you very much. And you said complexity. I'll say there's nothing complex in life, everything is very simple. Okay, folks, a very big namaste and a love filled hello from India. I'm sure you must have heard these lines a multiple times. Spirituality and money, they belong to different domains, different planes, different realms. You cannot mix them together. You can either be spiritual or you could earn money because spirituality demands sacrificing money. And to earn money, you've got to compromise on your values. And look, even God says, money is evil, do not love money. Well, at least I have heard them a number of times. After all of us today, me including all our audience and all the people participating, haven't we been born in an era which was obsessed with money and material gains? And that obsession has led to we being trained through stories, through systems, and through programs to believe that money and spirituality cannot coexist. They're like water and oil, they never mix. But what if I tell you this is a myth? Money and spirituality can coexist. They've been designed to coexist. This myth was actually percolated into popular thinking somewhere in the 4th century, and it has kept on increasing. And the 4th century is the time when institutionalization of spirituality and religion took place. And the maximum cementing of it in our human psyche happened during the industrial era. Now, industrial era grew and prospered on the powers of science, particularly physics. Now, physics is a science, you know, of the five senses. And therefore, during the industrial era, what was visible was accepted, what was invisible was thrown out of the window. Therefore, money got accepted, and spirituality, which is invisible, got thrown out of the window, and money emerged as the new god. Now, money is a double edged sword, you know. When tamed, it promotes harmony, order, prosperity, growth, And when untamed, it promotes ego, vanity, disorder, and creates animals out of us because values and ethics which are required are not there. And ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why I'm here today, because this myth needs to be broken. You already know my name is Sandeep Amar Gupta, and in the next 20 minutes, I'll be talking of three things. Number one, why the myth needs to be broken. Number two, money and spirituality coexist. They've been designed to coexist. And thirdly, the S.H.E framework, which is a framework created by me, which integrates spiritual dynamics, human potential, and economic strategies, which is a breathing model, which I say a breathing, living model for modern success. Before I get into the solution, let me take you into the story of one of my clients. Let's call her Maya. I'm not using her real name. A couple of years back, as we were getting out of the pandemic, Maya, aged around 50, a brilliant client, a brilliant gifted healer who's very reflexive, who is helping people right, left, and center, comes to me for help. You know, you had to wait for 2 months to get an appointment with her, but still, Maya was struggling financially. The question is why? Where was she going wrong? Maya, like most of us, was a victim and strongly believed that money is evil. And asking for it will dilute her spirituality. During our interactions, a number of times she said, "Look, Sandeep, what I give to my clients, what I give to my people, it comes from my heart. It is spiritual, and I will not demean it by asking for money." Ultimately, it did take some time, but ultimately she realized that money and spirituality are two gifts of nature given to mankind to give meaning and purpose to life. They might seem very contrary, they might seem very opposing to each other, but they have a common purpose. And the common purpose is to nourish human life. They are the two pillars on which we build our life. Spirituality nourishes our inner world, money nourishes and secures our outer world. And once Maya understood this thing, with confidence she started demanding money, which she thought was right, which she thought was appropriate for the services she rendered. And believe me, people started paying her. And today, Maya is doing a prosperous business. She's reaching out to more people. She's happy. She's contented. And she is not fighting the financial challenges. So this brings us to the next question. What changed for Maya? What was holding her back? And how did this clarity shift everything for her? Maya was doing the same mistake that most of us do. That is looking at spirituality as a standalone phenomenon. Spirituality is not a standalone phenomenon. It is a part and parcel of an ecosystem, the human ecosystem. Spirituality gives us purpose, values, intelligence, etc., which I'll be alluding going forward. Had spirituality not been there, we would have still been the hunter-gatherers we were centuries and centuries back. There would have been no evolution. We would have still been the same caveman living in caves. Now, to understand what shifted Maya, let's go a step deeper and look into the human ecosystem. Now, the human ecosystem is made of three layers or three planes or three types of energies. One is the soul, which is the spirit. The second is the mind. And the third is the body. And we are kicking and alive and growing and prospering only till the time these three are aligned with each other. Now let's see what is the relationship. It's a simple example which I use. Let's say this is the soul, this is the mind, and this is the body. If from this equation I remove the soul, what happens? We die. Let's bring the soul back. We are alive again. If I remove the mind, what happens? We are living, we are breathing, but we are incapable of thinking and acting, which means the soul does not instruct the body. It is the mind which instructs the body to behave and think in a particular way. Let's bring the mind back. And if I remove the body, what happens? We just do not exist. The soul and the mind need the body to perform on this physical plane. Now, going further, the soul is all about love. It is the prime energy which gives us life. It is not connected with any philosophy, religion, or ideology. It is just there. It is. And all the qualities of love, mutuality, wisdom, the larger good of society, compassion, refulgence, bliss, happiness come to us from the soul. Now the mind, which is a vehicle for the soul, and my mistake, and the body, which is a vehicle for the soul and mind to work through, needs to survive. Therefore, nature has given it three goals to the body: organic satisfaction, organic survival, and organic reproduction. And to ensure that it survives, nature has given it the quality of selfishness. And the mind in between, the soul and the body, keeps on oscillating between the two. I'm sure you must have wondered a number of times about the inconsistency in your thoughts and behaviors. Why does it happen? In the morning, you were very selfless. In the evening, you were very selfish. Someone cheated you of $10. You were all up in arms and wanted to kill the person. And someone robbed you of $10,000. You said, hey, he might be needing, let it go. But this thing happens because the mind keeps on oscillating. And when you got the news, if the mind was towards the soul, your reaction was selfless, was compassionate. And in case it was towards the body, it was selfish, self-centered. Now, going forward, the mind. Out of the three, the mind is the most powerful thing because it is the vehicle. It is designed to make us think and act. A number of times you must have heard, read, and seen that the mind could be your friend. At the same time, the mind could be your enemy. when the mind is towards the body and behaves in a selfish manner, it is your body. It is your enemy. Because selfishness is destructive, is exclusive, it is self-centered. It does not promote growth and prosperity, be it religion, be it relationships, be it your work, be it your business, anywhere. On the contrary, the soul, which is all about mutuality, love, promotes growth, prosperity, is constructive. And nature has given us the power to reduce the oscillation of the mind, change the compass needle of the mind from the body towards the soul, and strike the right balance. This brings me to the next point. How does this happen? If the soul, the mind, and the body are the main players in our life, then where does spirituality come into play? There are three words: the spirit, the spiritual, and spirituality. The spirit, as we all know, is the core energy. It gives us life, is there, and is full of constructive attributes. It is full of meaningful attributes. It wants peace, it wants love, it wants mutuality. It feeds all these things into us. Now, what does spiritual means? In anything which the attributes of the spirit are visible, or the person or the thing gets associated with the attributes of the spirit, becomes spiritual. And what is spirituality? Spirituality is all about the path of becoming spiritual. Now, let me share a very interesting quote of Steve Jobs, who was supposed to be, just give me a minute. You see, it's a long thing, so I'll just have to read it. Okay, I just can't find it. Sorry for that, and to keep you waiting. What Steve Jobs said. He said that, look, our mind is absolutely restless, and we try to calm it. It becomes all the more restless. And as we move forward, we keep on trying. Ultimately, it does become calm. And the moment it becomes calm, it opens new avenues to us. It opens new possibilities to us. It opens new thinking to us. It opens a new expanse to us. And he attributes his entire success to calming of the mind. And calming of the mind is a spiritual activity. Well, I've spoken about spirituality. I've spoken about the human ecosystem. Now let's talk about spirituality and money and their relationship. We humans, we live in two worlds simultaneously. The inner world of our thoughts, the inner world of our dreams, the inner world of values, aspirations, emotions. Now, this world gives us the purpose and values. And then we live in the outer world, the world we perform, the world we are born in, the world we grow up, we act and achieve. And the outer world is all selfish. Like I said, the body, it's all selfish. It is I, me, my. The inner world is all selfless. It is we are us. And the two worlds are connected by our attention. Now, what happens? When we start training our attention and we start shifting its needle from the body towards the soul, and internal profound change starts taking place. Externally, everything remains the same, but internally, there is a huge, huge change. For the selfish people, for the selfish world, money is an end in itself. But for the selfless, money is a means to an end. Now, when money becomes a means to an end, which means it becomes more inclusive, and as the inclusivity increases, the number of people increase, the benefits of money are passed on to everyone. And since there are no free lunches in life, gratitude comes into play, and the person driving that initiative gets more and more support. As he gets more and more support, the network increases. So this becomes a vicious cycle where money helps spirituality to grow and spirituality helps money to grow. And now, let me give you some empirical data also. You see, because we live in an age of science, we want numbers, they fascinate us, and we believe only when numbers are there. There are a number of empirical studies which closely establish the relationship between money and spirituality and how money multiplies when the spiritual laws are applied to the platform which is generating money. Out of all the studies, my favorite study is called Friends of Endearment. Now, this study was done by one Mr. Dr. Raj Sisodia. He was in Harvard. He was in Wharton at that point of time. What Raj did, Raj selected 60 companies globally who were traded on the stock exchange and looked into their strategies. And he selected those 60 companies which used love, the core of spirituality, and as the pivot around which their business strategies were framed. And then he compared the results of these companies over a period of 10 years with the S&P 500 average. And do you know what he found? That in 10 years, whereas the S&P 500 companies had grown by probably 106%, these 60 companies had grown by 1,026%. That means 10 times more than the S&P 500 companies. Is this not fascinating? And this relationship between spirituality and money is nothing new. If we go back in history to ancient times, we will find that the Sufis have spoken of it, the others have spoken of it, and in India, 5,000 years back, a framework called Purusharth, the aim of life, was designed and given to the public to create a purposeful and a meaningful life. And how did this framework work? It started with the first goal, that is calm, which means satisfy your desires. Satisfy your desires. There's nothing wrong in satisfying your desires. Now, to satisfy your desires, you need wealth, you need money. It will not be satisfied in vacuum. So the second goal was to earn money. So we have the first goal, satisfy your desires. We have the second goal, earn money, create wealth. Now, both these activities relate to the outer world, the physical world. Now, what happens when you get money? You get the power over other people. You can hold on to the resources required by the others. As a result, you can manipulate them. You can exploit them, which could damage the fabric of society. So what was the third goal of life? Was dharma, which means righteous living. And this righteous living came into play only to keep in check the evils which money carries with itself. So it was sort of a filter. If you lead a righteous life, you filter out the negative impacts of money. And to lead a righteous life, the fourth goal came into play. And that goal was called liberation. Liberation from what? Most of the people say it's from death and life, etc., etc. No, it's not from life and death. This is the liberation from greed, from attachment, from lust, from ego, and anger. Because all these 5 elements make you selfish. Now, this was something which happened 5,000 years ago. And believe me, this is still relevant. This is still relevant. So what do we see in this example? The inner world, the outer world, balancing the two. In the outer world, it says, quench your thirst, earn money. In the inner world, it says, hey, lead a righteous life and get rid of the 5 evils of the mind. Now, having said this, I would like to just share one slide which depicts my model. Just give me a minute. I think you can see my model, the S.H.E framework. I'll give you a minute to go through it. In life, what do we want? We want sustainable success. We want wholeness, and we want purposeful, profitable today and tomorrow. And how do the 3 elements I was speaking of come together? At the human potential level, we need to align our purpose, thoughts, and actions. And to do that, we need presence, focus, which leads to growth. What does the model do at the spiritual level? It makes you self-aware of why are you thinking and behaving the way you do. It makes you identify all your points where you have been selfish, and it helps you to turn the needle towards selflessness. So you are more loving, more forgiving, more inclusive. And when you are that, even people respond accordingly. Result, you have a purpose, you have values, and you have energy. And at the economic strategies front, it is strategize your actions with the soul, that is the spirit, and accordingly decide, create systems, and get the results. So I will conclude with just one thing, that money is a double-edged sword. It can be a friend, it can be a foe. Untamed money creates disharmony, chaos, whereas tamed mind, when tamed by values and purpose, it supports prosperity, it supports growth, it supports orderly behavior. So, yes, money is powerful, but power without purpose can be dangerous. The real success lies in balancing the two, and that's the heart of what I invite you to do. Bring your soul to your success. And as far as the definition of spirituality is concerned, I have a very simple definition, which is diving deep inside yourself, becoming aware why do you think and behave the way you do, taking steps to move from selfishness to selflessness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amar, Sandeep Amar Gupta. Nice. Yeah, spirituality guru, I think, in terms of economic, I think this is really aspiring. Your frame shift and in the protocol, the is really inspiring. And yeah, money, how much potentiality, and in terms of spirituality, you're given an excellent, practical oriented um, thoughts. Thank you so much, Sandeep Amrut. So we have a couple of questions, but the time is really running out. I will get back to all the questions, but yeah, we have some questions like when did you start? How do you start applying this she frame shift on a daily basis? No, like
Okay. How much time do I have, Dr. Prasad?
no, next 5 minutes you may conclude.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay. So let me be very brief. So the question is, when did I start? Right? Okay. The SHE framework is the culmination of my 40 years of experiencing life, the good, bad, ugly. There was a time when I was chasing money. Then there was a time I was totally spiritual, totally like the Buddha. And then I realized I'm foolish. I got to balance the two.
Yes.
And since I started balancing the two, I might not be the richest man, but I have more than sufficient. For my requirements, I'm happy, I'm contented. And I'm sure my kids will not curse me when I go away saying that our father died a pauper.
Nice. Thank you so
What
much.
other, any other question?
No, we do have some other questions. We will send it to your email, Mr. Sandeep. We'll definitely coordinate. We do have some spirituality, how to make the success, economic success, those things we will talk more in depth.
Oh, please do. And if you could send me the name of the people and the
Yes.
email of the people who have raised
Yeah.
the question, I'll
Yeah.
be more than obliged to answer the
them.
questions.
And please network them. Actually,
Yes.
we got so many questions from Delhi Hadward, Vendivili. So we after this day one, we will definitely send it, Mr.
Thank
Ravi.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much for
everyone
your
for listening
thoughtful
to me.
ideas. Thank you.
Big
Namaste. Bye bye.
namaste.
Namaste. Bye bye.